Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 29 weekend, and now things are cruising. I had a conversation with some friends at WWE recently, and they said, "Who's the guy you want, Rosenberg? Come on, this is Hot 97. You tell us who you want. We'll bring him." I said, truth be told, Dolph Ziggler's the guy I want to talk to.
Smart move.
I know. Smart. I'm a smart guy. I saw you for 2 seconds at the WrestleMania after party 2 years ago, and I was like, dude. I told him the same thing I just told AJ about you. I was like, dude, you know what put me on to Dolph Ziggler? The way you slide onto the apron when you get into the ring.
Nice.
It's a nuance, but it showed me how athletic you were. I was like, dude, that guy's crazy athletic. It's like a little thing, but
and
it
it's
stood
like
out.
I'm not even thinking about it when I do it. So like, I should just think of when I put my mind to it.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It's about standing out. It's about being different. So that's that's one of the things that I do better than everybody else.
Was there a moment when the cheerleader thing was not working?
Yeah.
That you were like, that this didn't seem possible, or did you always think this will lead to this?
There was absolutely doubt because when I first heard about the idea, in my head, up to this point, I was Lance Storm's teacher's pet in OVW. There earlier than everyone else, staying later, going to extra practices, doing what I can. I go, I want to be out of here and on the main roster in a couple months if I can. And they told me how great I was doing. We have these great plans for you. And I had this really cool idea. We found out about it. And it was like male cheerleaders. And I was crushed, literally crushed. And I didn't know the ins and outs of the business so much as to where you go, maybe this is your only shot. This is it. Okay, make it work. I was lucky to be with four other guys who we all had a great time.
Wait, but if you had to do it over again, are you saying maybe you would have said this isn't for me?
I wouldn't say no. I just find a way to make everything work, and I've kind of put my whole career doing that, whether I had 30 seconds in the ring or was a caddy or a cheerleader. I found a way to somehow prove my worth otherwise to go, okay, if that's not working out, we're going to find something for this guy.
And it's interesting because, truth be told, in my opinion, at the time, and maybe maybe I have a naive eye, seemingly on the surface, Kenny was the star.
It was absolutely that way.
That's how
it was set up that way. That was the deal.
He had the big off the top rope joint, right?
Yeah, actually, it was.
It was like a leg. It was like
drop or an elbow drop.
It was like a leg that he flipped. He flipped into a leg drop. It was kind of like a. And so so when you came about, and I was like, I like this guy. I didn't even realize you were the same person.
Oh wow!
Until I was told.
Half the people totally get it, and then every day on Twitter, I'll get 2 or 3 people.
No
going,
way, bro!
You were from Nikki, haha, idiot, or whatever. It's like, all right, I'm the idiot. Like my hair is like 2 inches longer. You don't know? Like, come on.
Hey, it's very confusing sometimes.
Yeah. But it's doing that and coming from that made me work that much harder because. For a while, there would either be Nikki Chance or cheerleader. It's still like, if I have a bunch of good digs on somebody and they're like, yeah, right, cheerleader, you're like, that doesn't win an argument.
No,
like, that was awful.
Can't solve anything with that.
Sorry. Hey, you're a baby because like 20 years ago you were a baby. Like,
are you aware of what the conversation among smart wrestling fans is about you, or do you know it all together? Or some of you aware?
I don't know the full conversations. I would assume somewhere between better than everyone else and overrated, somewhere in there, somewhere like half and half would be my guess.
I definitely think
and that was a quick answer.
It was a good answer, and you definitely come up short of overrated. I've never heard that, but better than everybody else is a common thought. I think everyone believes that you're the best new guy, if you will. And there's also a segment of fans that I hear about in my nerdy podcast that I listen to, and I'm driving, things like that, that are almost frustrated that they're so ready for the Dolph era to have cometh. And I think the last 6 months
they're frustrated, huh? What's that like? That sucks.
Yeah, yeah. You've been sort of. I read a couple quotes from you the last couple days that you were saying a couple things about, that the last several months in your eyes, I'm sure, could have gone differently from where you were 6 months ago.
Absolutely, and that's the nature of the business. That's how it goes. I think my frustrations and my actions have only driven me to go on and do better each and every night. And I've had a chip on my shoulder since I started. When I started, I didn't come from the independent scene. I didn't come from anything. I wrestled in college, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what's this? You got hired this guy?" But it's not the typical meathead. I've been a fan since I was 5 years old. I love this. I adapted to it. I'm athletic as all hell, so that I could do anything, and I really, really sunk my teeth into it. I love this. I want to do it my whole life, and now I feel like I'm not peaking now. I peaked about a year ago, but it's staying along the lines of, like, I can go with anyone in the ring.
But you don't know, peaked in what way? Physically?
I think mentally. I'm not going to say I'm not learning every day, because I am, and it's great to be out there with guys who have actually been around longer than me and learn from them. But it's for about a year now, I've been ready to go, I guess would be the term.
Yeah, here's a question. I was having a conversation with a former WWE wrestler recently who was talking about when moments like that, do you express it to Vince that Vince can kind of respect that? Vince is the kind of guy who respects the hunger and the aggressiveness.
And you've heard that. And actually, a long time ago, I don't remember, for a couple of weeks, I actually would finish a match, yell, "Follow that," on the microphone and leave, because I used to come through Gorilla and go, "Follow that. Why am I not on last?" And they realized that it was me actually going, "Oh, wow, we better take notice of this guy." And I tend to be vocal about that backstage a lot, and maybe that's not always the best decision to make, but you got to make your voice heard sometimes.
I will say this: you're also in a spot, sort of like Punk, in that you're in a pretty safe position. There's no way. I'll say this: I'm not saying you're the greatest wrestler on earth, but ain't no one letting you go right now. That's impossible, because you have the potential. We know what the potential is. The potential is this generation Shawn Michaels. That's what it feels like for a lot of people.
Well, that also makes a lot of people angry when you
Oh, what? Comparing yourself to arguably the greatest in-ring performer of all time?
It's so dumb. Anyway, but he's the best.
Is he your hero? Is he your number one?
Him and Flair, I think. Yeah.
Punk,
so
no.
It's P-U-N-K with a P. Oh, there he is.
Punk, you want to join this conversation? It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm about to ask about it, because you said Flair.
I got introduced to Flair at a very young age. I had an uncle who loved wrestling. He showed me beta tapes of Flair, and I was like, this is the man. And this is before I knew anything about the business. I was 7 years old or something, and I was like, so I always kind of gravitated to watching him. And then when I became smarter and watching tapes and everything, I go, Shawn's out there. He's angry. He wants to be the best. If he's not in the main event, he makes his match the main event and lets everyone know about it. I go, that's going to be me.
Where do you put the following? Bret Hart and Randy Savage in that conversation?
Man, they're so great. I'm not going to do it.
These days, I think Randy's the greatest.
It's so hard to pick, because everybody can relate a little bit more. So I try to be unbiased. And unbiased, I just think Shawn has done it all and delivered. And all of those guys are arguably top 3, top 5, whatever. And you can see it your own way. I can't even get into that. My favorite that I think personally Shawn has delivered as a good guy, as a bad guy. Main events, he's made people look awesome, and he's done it. And even if he comes back for one Raw and talks to Hunter in the ring for 5 minutes, you believe it, and you get behind him and you go, there's so much emotion in 2 minutes that he just talked than I've had on a microphone in a year. And it's like, damn, like, how do you get that? Because they respect him so much, and he's been through so much, and we've lived through it with him.
Here's something. Are you a little bigger than Shawn?
Nah, I don't think so.
Almost the same size?
I'm a little more athletic, probably. No, we're similar size. I mean,
well, here's the thing.
I wear high tops, not cowboy boots.
True indeed. Yeah. True indeed. Because one of the things that I always talk about with Savage was his ability to have programs with anyone that looked credible regardless of size. Like, I went through a streak this week on Savage again, as I do regularly, and I just watched like 3 or 4 matches with Andre.
Oh, wow.
And he has these incredible matches with Andre. And here's what I noticed today. He does these things to make it, because he was much smaller than Hogan. I mean, not much smaller than Hogan, but smaller than Hogan. Yeah. And you just seen Hogan feud with Andre. So what did he do? He adapted by doing things like he'd like run at him with a double axe handle.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say Macho's famous for that axe handle.
And what else? And he'd come off the top rope with the axe handle over. And then the little things I love. You know what you got to take from Macho Man, pay homage with, that I don't think I've seen anyone else do regularly. That jump over the top rope, slap the apron on your way down.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
That was so cool.
Yeah, that was.
No one ever does that. He
true.
did it every time. So what is the goal for you? I mean, we know what the goal is. It's to cash in that Money in the Bank on Sunday and leave with the World Heavyweight Championship.
Should the right situation occur, Absolutely.
Be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think if my music hits, 70,000 people are going to cheer no matter what the hell they think. So
See, but that's a really interesting situation then, because you've been going one direction for a long time, but in that moment, no matter what, you're a good guy. When that happens, how aren't people going to be excited, just too excited?
Yeah, I think maybe they're too excited because it's a special thing. No one's ever had the Money in the Bank contract this long. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But
Starts to make you think,
yeah.
does it expire?
I have it, yeah. And I have it, and WrestleMania is here, so.
Does it expire at Money in the Bank? Is it 1 year?
I'm pretty sure it's exactly 1 year, even though I've defended it and redefended it twice. I was hoping for a restart.
Hold on, but this is simple. Obviously, when you got it, they sent you an email with all the details. Let's just look up the contract.
Yeah, I'll have to go back. My publicist has
Your
it,
publicist
I
has the
think.
Money in the Bank contract. It has very specific rules.
Yeah, a lot of old Latin words in there.
I know, I've heard that. Well, listen, don't get too frustrated. You're gonna have a long.
No, I have too much fun on our live events and working.
You're just a
these
competitive
shows.
dude, huh? You just.
I will not let anyone outdo me in the ring. If I get 30 seconds or 30 minutes, I will make something stand out at WrestleMania every single night. Like I'm like I feel like I'm a little banged up and I need some time off, like a weekend off to relax. Like no way. What are these guys doing? I don't want to miss a show and I won't.
Who's in that locker room that you haven't worked with yet that you think you could do awesome stuff with?
Man, let me think. I've worked with Brodus Clay. I tried to suplex Brodus Clay in Chicago.
Didn't work out.
It did not work out somehow. I'm trying to think offhand. I don't really.
I mean, anyone.
Got anybody,
Anyone. Veterans, whoever.
God, I'd love to get in the ring with Sean. I think that'd be so awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be.
Did
you guys ever have anything? Oh no, he beat you up as
Spirit Squad stuff. I got to be in the ring with those guys on a regular weekend. Hunter, Flair, Sean, two of those three every weekend. We got to roll around out there and be in there with the I can't ever replace that experience. Like
you must have been flipping out.
Unreal, and it was. They would let us have a little leeway and have a little fun and do and try some things out. They were so cool about that, and then we just learned just listen the rest of the way.
Did you talk to Sean?
Yeah, and this is the only time I really didn't get a good chance to talk to him was Monday. He was very focused on some other things, and that's totally understandable. So whenever I get him, I pull him aside and I'm like, this and this and this, and he's like, I know, and that was kind of a Sean. I know. But it's so he was so cool to me when he was here, and whenever I get a chance, he lets me talk his ear off and give me some advice. It's great.
That is very cool. Well, I'll tell you what, the wrestling world, the WWE universe, if you will, and every universe is excited about what you're doing, bro. So
thank you very much.
Good luck
I
on
appreciate
Sunday,
it.
and good luck this next year.
Thanks, man.
Maybe we'll see you at the title sometime soon.
Got it.
Dolph Ziggler, ladies and gentlemen.